Much like your members, your fitness club is always in motion. That's why Perfect Gym's all-in-one gym management software is here to help you run your gym your way. Make online registrations quick and easy with a simple sign-up and payment process. And let them book classes on the go with our mobile app and payments, with immediate booking and payment confirmations. Integrate with other third-party apps and equipment with our open API. Let your members work out from anywhere with live class streaming. Improve your club's retention rates with retention forecasts powered by machine learning. And automate client communication and tasks to free up time for the rest of your staff. Or generate QR codes in the mobile app. Understand your club's financial performance with our sales predictions so you can keep your club running smoothly. And no matter where you are, we'd like to help keep your business in motion for the members of today and tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special panel discussion on the future of the Asia-Pacific region as we move out of this COVID pandemic. We've got a special panel discussion ahead of you with 4 incredible speakers: Collective Wellness Group, Fernwood Fitness, Life Fitness, and IHRSA. I'm going to now hand over the mic and the reins to our special guest moderator, John Holsinger, one of our key partners from IHRSA and director of their Asia Pacific network. Over to you, John.
I'd like to welcome you to the topic, how is the Asia Pacific region emerging post-COVID and what lies ahead? We have an esteemed panel joining us today, including Di Williams, the founder and chairman of Fernwood Fitness, Justin McDonell, the founder and chairman of the Collective Wellness Group, both living in Australia, and Andrew Mahadevan, the Vice President in Asia Pacific of the Life Fitness family of brands, currently based in Hong Kong. And they will offer their insights and future vision for the fitness industry. We'll have each of them introduce themselves and their companies shortly. IHRSA has been a founding supporter of the Fit Summit series of events, and we thank them for giving us the opportunity to share with you today. Since this horrible pandemic started in early 2020, as the first region into restrictions, Asia has also led the recovery out of the pandemic and business lockdowns. China and Hong Kong were first in, and while the rest of the world was only just hearing about it and hoping it doesn't come here, as the threat spread, IHRSA led the information sharing experience with 3 presentations from Hong Kong and China in the first 6 weeks about what to expect and how to prepare. So now, as we come out of the end of the pandemic tunnel, the industry needs to prepare for the rise of chronic health conditions due to the pandemic, making the need to work to unite the global fitness industry and promote healthy lifestyles more important than ever. IHRSA works with 25 federations around the world and continues to build more relationships. These federations and our interactions work to meet the needs of local operators and implement actions that help the development of health around the world. We are working with key strategic thought leaders, CEOs and C-suite industry stakeholders by establishing the newly formed Global Health and Fitness Alliance. Over the past 8 months, these leaders have actively been putting their heads together to position the health and fitness industry as a key contributor in the preventative healthcare continuum. Its goals are to promote the industry's vital contributions to health and well-being, facilitate credible third-party research evidence on health and economic benefits of our industry, and to promote policies, standards, and regulations that support health and fitness business operations. If you would like to know more or are interested in joining this group, please contact me via LinkedIn. Our objectives in this panel session today are to share with you key learnings from the region that is ahead of others in reopening and recovery, to understand the recovery metrics and measures for people, revenue, and membership as we come out of the pandemic, to learn what impact and continuing role digital and hybrid have played in recoveries, and understand Asia's industry future through our constantly changing and regularly polished crystal balls. So each of our panelists have gone through different challenges. So let's learn who they are. Di, would you lead us off a little bit about yourself and your company? Thank you.
Yes, thank you, John. My name's Di Williams, and I'm the founder of Fernwood Women's Health Clubs in Australia. We started back in 1989, so it's over 30 years ago now that we've been in business, and it's an exclusive full-size fitness centre offering all of the offerings that a big box gym offers. We're moving more into wellness these days as there's so much more need to look after mental health and look into that side of the business as well as physical fitness. We have 70 clubs in Australia. We're a franchise model predominantly. We do have a couple of company-owned clubs, but predominantly we are a franchise model, and we're in every state of Australia. We're still looking at expanding now. The pandemic is hopefully coming to an end, and feeling pretty confident about the future.
Great, thank you. Justin?
I'm Justin McDonell, one of the co-founders of Collective Wellness Group. We've got the franchise rights for Anytime Fitness in Australia, as well as Extend Bar. We've had Anytime Fitness for 13 years in Australia. We started in regional Australia, and now we have 520 locations around the country, and thankfully we're still growing as well. Extend Bar is more of a boutique offering, so we've got 22 locations across the major capital cities and looking to expand that as well. So basically like Di in the franchising sector, and our product is fitness.
Thank you. Andrew?
Thanks, John. My name is Andrew Mahadevan, so I have the pleasure of representing Life Fitness Asia Pacific. Life Fitness is a leader in the commercial fitness space and growing in the consumer space as well. And very, very excited to be part of this panel. I got to spend quite a few years in the United States managing a few different businesses there, including Latin America. And I had the honor and the pleasure of moving over to Asia and Hong Kong specifically with my wife and 2 kids a couple of years ago. So it's been a great opportunity, and I'm looking forward to sharing some insights.
And apologies, Andrew, I butchered your surname on my introduction, so I'll get it right on the next one. Okay, to our first question. According to IHRSA research in March 2021, over 50% of people saying they're getting less exercise at home during the pandemic, and 10% have stopped their routines altogether. So in principle, our gyms should feel pretty strong recovery spurts when opening. Maybe it's pent-up demand, maybe there's more money in the marketplace, and so on. What have each of you found? Justin, has your business recovered to pre-COVID levels? And if not, when do you think they will?
Our data analysts pull some numbers for us. So our anytime revenue is literally back to normal. I think we're 1% down on that. Usage is down slightly, but the average membership price is up. So the net effect is we're fairly much back to normal. Our CBD locations are still down. People haven't gone back to work in those locations, so they are probably suffering, but our entire network is back to normal. With Extend Bar, our revenues are actually up. We launched an online platform when we closed the locations, and that's actually still going and going quite strong. So pricing on that is up and usage, and so that brand's actually exceeding, and anytime it's back to normal.
Okay, so essentially franchise businesses are healthy in your estimation?
Yeah, we had a couple of clubs kind of change hands, which was a bit of a cleanup of what happens naturally anyway when the clubs close. So if you didn't go in with strong cash flow, obviously it's a challenge at any time. So we had some other franchisees take some existing locations and if you call a bit of a cleanup of the network, but the network's very strong at the moment, and we're still opening new locations, which is great.
Okay. Di, are you finding the same with your franchising?
Yes, very similar. You know, when the COVID first hit, I freaked out. I thought, oh my goodness, I've been in business for 32 years and now we're just going to get wiped off the planet. I didn't know what to expect. Eventually, when we came back to open up again, I was very, very surprised at how positive the comeback was. You know, a lot of our clubs are doing better than they were the same time last year. I mean, pre-COVID, of course, and some of them are a bit below. It depends on the demographics where they are. As Justin said, if they're in the city, it's a little bit slower, or if they're in an area where there's a lot of overseas backpackers and that sort of thing, those clubs tend to be a little bit slower. But on the whole, I'm very happy with the way we've come out of this, and the members are loving coming back to the club. It's proved that exercising at home is not the answer. The members are enjoying being a member of the club, coming into the club more often. The clubs are buzzing. And also, as far as new clubs, we're getting an awful lot of interest and a lot of inquiries, and we're opening up new clubs a lot quicker than I thought we would. I thought that people would be perhaps a bit too cautious and you know, not wanting to invest in the fitness industry. But at this early stage, the signs are very promising.
Excellent. Andrew, what about the supplier side?
Yeah, it's great to have Di and Justin on the call, because Australia has kind of been the shining star, at least for our business, Australia and China. I mean, I think if you look at it from a global perspective, we're kind of trending as with any other global company. You know, we tied our forecasts essentially to vaccine rollout by country. We've got some areas of optimism where vaccine rollout has been extremely effective, or there's just been really, really good control on the vaccine. But it's been highly fluctuating, and the reason being is you will see stability in an area like Japan. And you'll start to gain momentum, and there'll start to be almost a return to normalcy. And then you get another variant of COVID that is more infectious. And, you know, like we've seen recently, going into a third wave in a state of emergency, which then in turn, you know, adjusting your business, you know, how do you best adjust your business there? So yeah, I think some areas, pre-COVID levels, absolutely. Australia is one of them. We actually are able to see the amount of workouts that are done on our equipment. So Hong Kong, Singapore, Australia are looking really good. But then there's obviously other countries that are far behind the pack.
Okay, so you think the challenge is being prepared for going in, going out, going in, going out, and what the variations are going to be doing?
Yeah, I think that operators, and I beg Di or Justin to jump in here because I'm not an operator. I think operators have basically mastered how to close and how to reopen. I mean, the first time this happened, we released a reopening guide because we saw a need. We gave operators a big packet and said, here's what we suggest based on multiple governments' inputs and also science. You can reopen safely. There's still, if there's cases, you can feel confident reopening your doors as long as your government allows. But I think, you know, the question more so from our side is, what does the next, call it 3 to 4 months hold? Because we're a supplier, so we're a lagging indicator. So if Australia went back into lockdown, we've already got goods that are on sea that are headed in country. So what does that mean for us and our distributor partners?
Do you think vaccines, Di and Justin, do you think the vaccine is the be all end all, or are there other things at play that are going to make a difference?
I'm a bit of a wishful thinking person, so I would like to think so. I do think it'll take a while, but hopefully not too much longer. But we've noticed there are things like trying to get equipment in from overseas, where there's a backlog of equipment that we're waiting on. So that is another sort of side of coming out of this. But I think it's going to take some states, probably in Australia, longer than others, potentially because of how long they've been closed down. So Victoria was closed down for like 10 months or something, whereas New South Wales wasn't closed down that much. So each state is a little bit different, but our franchisees are pretty good at opening and closing now. They have their checklist, they know what to do. Oh, here we go again. So when Victoria had their second lockdown, everybody freaked out. They really, had a terrible shock. We thought we were back in business and then we weren't again. Now it's all okay. Nobody worries. Nobody has a panic attack or anything. We just go through the processes and we're out of lockdown before we know it. So it's a lot easier. Franchisees are becoming a lot calmer, and that's flowing through to the staff and the members. So there's no nervousness, and which is what makes our members happy. If everybody in the club is feeling positive about the future, then it helps for the growth of the club.
Yeah. Justin?
Yeah, when we closed all the clubs in March, we took an approach that we were going to be closed for 9 months. We thought Australia was run under one federation, but it appears that every state has treated it differently. So it's been quite difficult as a franchisor trying to work with each state and get sort of a consistent approach. We've got WA in lockdown for 3 days because there was one case. Like, when you look at other countries, they must look at us and go, what are you doing? So it's crazy to be doing that. Like Di, I think I'm optimistic as well. We need to get the vaccine rolled out in confidence. We're an island, but we can't stay an island. We need to be part of the global society. So I think it's all positive. We've still got, like Di, franchise inquiries coming through. There's been a shift in real estate, which is quite often one of our biggest challenges. So some of the retailers haven't survived or they've moved to online. So it's good for us to find space as well. We're finding as long as you've got a job, people are willing to spend money. I think home renovations are up. People are coming and joining the gym as well. So the economy is bouncing back really, really well, which is great. We just need the vaccine out so people can feel safe to join the rest of the world when they get their stuff together as well.
Yeah, and a lot of I heard an interesting phrase that when things lift, you have to be January ready. People will have funds. They'll want to go out shopping. They'll want to spend their money. They want to find the ways to get their social aspects back up and running. And so in and out, doesn't matter how often, just be ready every time that you have to come back in. Interesting study in the Netherlands, about 1,000 people were surveyed and 97% said they had to go back to the gyms to get a better workout. Because as Di said earlier, at home just wasn't working. So, and along with that, more than 80% said they needed the social aspect the most. So what business challenges are you still overcoming today? And what do you see coming out on the horizon? Is there anything out there that you haven't really experienced or you're really preparing for that's going to make an impact? Di?
From our point of view, I can't think of too many challenges. There is the challenge of finding employees in our clubs, because the government's been very generous with JobKeeper and JobSeeker. So we've had a lot of staff. Now that JobSeeker is still there, JobKeeper has finished. We are having a lot of trouble finding staff because the overseas staff have all gone back to their countries, and a lot of the ones, I don't know whether Justin's finding the same thing, but in Australia, a lot of them are getting more from JobSeeker than they'd get from their casual employment in the gym, so they don't want to work. So we are having a lot of trouble finding staff. I imagine that will all settle down in time. But apart from that, I don't really think we have any challenges. I think we have some fantastic opportunities because of COVID. We never would have considered the way we do business these days, the things that we've changed, and we've been able to transform a lot of the things that we've done in club and also corporately. We're making a lot of really positive changes. So I don't really see a lot of changes, John. I tend to see a lot of opportunities that we can embrace and become a stronger and a much better business in the future.
I like the optimism. Andrew, you were going to say something.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great way to look at it is opportunities. I mean, for us, if we look really long term and we think, a year, 2 years, 3 years in the future, we keep hearing this term hybrid. I don't feel like that's a accurate phrase. I think we need to think of the future of fitness as a wellness ecosystem. So, gym, outside, at the office, at home, and all of those actually complement each other. I mean, I heard a great talk by Eric from McKinsey, and he was talking about, look, repetition builds habits. So you want them to supplement their gym workouts with at-home or outdoor runs or so on and so forth. I mean, short term, and it's great to hear, minimal challenges in staffing is really kind of the big challenge. We see the same thing. For us, especially in Asia, actually, I would say globally, John, biggest short/medium term challenge is managing operations. I mean, it's as simple as that. And something the pandemic has taught all of us is, sure, sales and marketing is the fun stuff, but if you're really not running a tight operations ship, and I'll specifically say inventory and operations planning, you can get into a lot of trouble really fast. Fortunately, we didn't. But just as the example I said with, Japan going on state of emergency, and we've got, product that was ordered 6 months ago or 5 months ago that is making their way into market, it's adjusting the level of inventory and flexing, which obviously has an impact on your cash flow. So one thing, this, I guess you could say, challenge turned into an opportunity for us has been communication. And feeding back to the Europe team, feeding back to our factories in Europe and in the United States, these are the trends that we're seeing by country. Here is their order backlog. Here's our crystal ball of what we think is going to happen over the course of the next few weeks. In turn, the factory's going to our suppliers and saying, okay, for components, got to make sure we have the right supply there. That has just become absolutely critical, along with accounts receivable. So that's still a challenge that we have to monitor every single day.
Yeah. Justin, when you and I were talking, you were also saying that this current situation has helped you focus a little better on how you choose your franchisees and what kind of parameters you're looking for, how you're getting those things identified. Di said the same thing. You're able to be a much more focused vetter of information now that it's online instead of having to meet person to person. Can you add anything to that?
Yeah, when all the clubs closed, Di said we had staff that went on to JobKeeper. We actually really looked at each role and we streamlined some of the roles. So some of the roles did actually fall away. We've offshored some customer service roles off to the Philippines. So we're getting more hours for reduced rates of pay. We've also gone a lot more online, which obviously we were a little bit, but all our training for franchisees is now available online as well, whereas before they used to have to come to our office. We've put staff out into the field. So previously all our staff worked out of the Sydney office. We've now got someone based in WA, one in Queensland, one in Victoria. So we've taken a different approach of ground support as well, which has really helped us support our franchisees. The other thing we did is we looked at every franchisee. For our Anytime Network, we've got about 250 franchisees. Generally, most of them are good, but there's some that are a challenge. So we've actually gone through a ranking system where we look at not just profitability, but how they operate a club, and then really look at, do we want to be partnering with them with more clubs, or do we want to be suggesting they go elsewhere? So we've really taken a more analytical approach to how we want to grow with them. We'll still open about 25 clubs every year ongoing, and we want them to be with the right partners, not just because you've got money and put your hand up. That's great, but you need to meet the other criteria as well. So we're getting stricter on our compliance as well. And I think customers demand cleaner clubs and a better product.
And does that take the role, as Andrew was saying, into an operational capability? You've got to have the people that understand how to run a business, not just opening because it's the flavor of the month. And maybe it was time for an industry clean out that got rid of the people that didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah, it's interesting in franchising, and Di would have it the same. Some of our people are from the fitness industry, but a lot of the people are from corporate. So anytime is quite a simple business model to work, but you still need to be in there. The clubs need to be clean and operating, and we're selling memberships and looking after our customers as well. So it's that really customer focus. So we need franchisees that are either in there doing that or employing the right staff and supporting them. So we need it's a people business.
Yeah. Does that change when it goes to the bar model instead of the anytime model?
The bar model is traditionally our franchisees are dancers, so the product consistency is really good. Where we're introducing is better systems to streamline the customer journey from booking a free class online up to signing up. We're trying to automate all that, so the experience in studio is where the staff spend their time, and the sales process is sort of automated. So we're just kind of rolling that through now and launching a new website. So we're trying to streamline that business through technology, and then the experience in studio is where the people shine.
Okay. Next question. Has COVID changed your investment plans in the short, medium, or long term? Andrew, I know you and I in our discussion indicated you had previously no changes, and on a big corporate scale, maybe it's less easy to see those changes. But is there anything that you're doing a little bit differently that you're going to be doing in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I would think short to medium term, this pandemic has taught, especially just being based in Hong Kong and very far removed, you really take ownership of this business. So anything that's in our budget that we spend, we're really focused on, is this the right investment for the moment? And I'll give you a very, very good example, John, is, if we have a trade show opportunity in Nagoya, is it worth spending the money to do that trade show, or is it better spent on creating local Japanese on-demand content on our consoles, right? If they cost the same. So short to medium term, what is the best, investment for us? I think long-term, our investment strategy is pretty consistent. I mean, I think it's been tweaked based on, the more balance between digital and hardware. But I would say our partners, we've got a great partner in China, Active Lifestyle. The pandemic is raging, and they opened the Life Fitness Experience Center in the Shanghai Tower, and we partnered with them on it. So they said, look, this is going to end. We're investing because we're investing in customer experience. Our partners in Delhi, Gympack, BJ and Shika, did the exact same thing. They said, this is a long-term play. This is not short-term. The health and fitness industry is going to come roaring back. We need a center that drives experience for our commercial and consumer customers. So I think the answer is short and medium term. Yes, it's a day-by-day thing. We make sure we're spending money in the right places. Long term, though, we look at the business in 3 to 5 year chunks.
Okay, that's great. Justin, does mental health play a focus in any of this, or mental wellness for you as we're looking forward?
It certainly does for us. Prior to the pandemic, we were very strong in mental health, and in any case, so we were very well positioned to be prepared to provide our members something for them to cope with their anxiety and depression and all of the things that go with the current lifestyle that people are experiencing. But we have a policy now that all of our franchisees have to be qualified in mental health first aid, and their staff. So we're very, very strong in making sure that we're equipped to be able to look after our members' mental health. And obviously, there's a lot of our members are suffering from anxiety and depression and that sort of thing. And so it's good that we have our people are able to communicate with them in the right kind of way, know what kind of conversations to have with them, so that it doesn't make the situation worse for them. So we have a wellness program called Empower, which focuses on our members' mental health, where they go through a 6-week program of understanding how to overcome issues that may be affecting them. And that was already in the pipeline prior to the pandemic. So that's been something that we've kind of really focused on now, moving, as I said earlier, moving into a strong push into wellness and mental health, and not just mental health, but also preventing mental health issues by having programs that our members can be healthy in their mind as well as physically. So there's a big push now with the general public to get focused on that side of thing as well as their physical fitness.
Yeah, Justin?
Yeah, John, we've always sort of focused, we've supported a charity called Are You OK the last few years, raising money by clubs contributing, everyone going on a treadmill and raising money. We've now focused a lot more on our internal staff, so we need to make sure our team of 50, 55 staff in our corporate office are mentally healthy as well. So we do a lot of work with them, and then that will filter out to franchisees and then through to the members as well. So I think the pandemic has proven that you can be physically healthy, but the benefits of exercise is that mental strength as well. So like Di said, we need to work with depression and getting people moving, but if you're exercising, you'll be mentally healthier. So I think the two are linked together.
Yeah, let's getting into talking about what your future or future proofing your business is. I've heard the term both from Andrew, and then I know Justin is a big proponent of this, the long game. And I just also heard Chuck Runyon, who is the Steam brand CEO of Anytime Fitness globally, was on an interview with Fox News. And he used the term, we need to generate a long-term vaccine. Not just the short-term vaccine that you stick in your arm and we get us out of this COVID, but our long-term vaccine is nutrition and exercise. So we need to change the message to a longer-term future-proofing for wellness and well-being. So in terms of, to all the panelists, in terms of your future-proofing, what role does programs and presentations play as opposed to facility design, HVAC developments where you had to spend money, being touchless or automating your interactions? Where are the two sides to this future-proofing? Justin, you're not.
I can start with Anytime, and Chuck's one of the original founders of Anytime in the US. He's got great vision. They're moving their model, which from convenience to coaching. So Anytime is keycard access. You can use any club around the world. Great facilities. You may get an interaction. Where we're moving that to is coaching. So there's actually personal trainers and staff that can actually coach either individually or in a group as well. So we're moving more to touching, if you like, the customer and getting them to experience that, whether that's digital or whether that's in club as well. So we're definitely moving to a more of a customer service approach versus just purely a convenience approach. I think as the fitness industry grows, there's so many different types of products out there, and I think it is important to have all your nice facilities, but there's got to be a different range of facilities that cater for the population. I might like a certain type of activity, Di will like something different, my wife will like something different. So it needs to be catered for to get more people exercising. If only 20% are exercising, well, there's 80% not. So let's try and target that other 20, 30, 40% that we can grow the market.
Yeah. Di?
Yes, I agree with Justin. I think that's right. I think the use of online programs and online membership as well as in-club membership is the way of the future. Obviously, it's been shown that people don't want to necessarily exercise at home, but we can still communicate with them when they're not in the club, and if they're having a time where they've got kids home from school or whatever, they can't come into the gym, they can still be a member and they can still be having all of the membership privileges, even though they're not actually exercising in the gym for a couple of weeks. So I think that's a way that we've been working on making sure our members have a holistic approach to wellness. It's not just coming to the gym, it's also how their mind is, whether they're meditating, whether they're taking time out for themselves, whether they're working out. And as Justin says, sometimes somebody wants to do a very intense workout and other times they just want to do yoga. So it's having all of those things for all of the people in society, so that people can choose what they want to do, when they want to do it, and we're a one-stop shop for all of those things. And wellness and mental health comes into it, as well as physical health, and just understanding that not everybody wants to exercise all of the time. Not everybody's a gym junkie, unfortunately. Some people have time out from the gym, and so by looking after those people and making sure they feel they're still part of the club, even though they're perhaps not physically coming into the club, and is something that we're looking at as future-proofing our business.
Yeah. Andrew, when you get back to your travels again, which in the past has been the way suppliers have carried on their business, what's going to change? Are you going to change your leadership style or your interactions or the amount of face-to-face you have with people? Is that going to change the industry?
That's a great question, John. I haven't really thought about it. And the reason why is because, I don't see travel in the near future, unfortunately. I mean, I think until we start really having effective vaccine rollouts, I don't think I don't think there's going to be uniform government view. I don't think there's going to be massive travel bubbles until we start seeing, herd immunities in countries. I mean, I would say this. What Di said is spot on. I mean, when you think about this whole concept of future-proofing, I had mentioned before the wellness ecosystem. It's everything that Di just said. It's exercising, it's mental well-being. So for us, it's figuring out where does Life Fitness and our family of brands fit. What are the digital products we can offer that complement the in-club, that complement the in-home, that complement the outdoors. So, From specifically to answer your question, John, I would say I think that this pandemic has taught us that, yes, engagement with people face to face is still incredibly important. I mean, I told you the biggest thing I miss is getting on an airplane and meeting with our distributor partners and our customers and my staff in Japan. I miss that more than anything. But what I would also say is I think this pandemic has also taught us we don't need to fly 3 weeks out of 4 to be effective. We can actually be effective more online and then really supplement the online with big impact trips.
So there goes your frequent flyer points.
Yeah, unfortunately, my T&E budget just got cut as those words came out of my mouth.
Got to be careful what you wish for, mate. So what I'm hearing is there doesn't seem to be the real strong focus on facilities and design, that whatever you design now physically in the structures and materials aren't as important. Maybe they will be as they go forward because they can be easily integrated, but they're not going to be as important as getting staff, getting great programs, making sure that you move quickly and change things very quickly to what the customers are going to want and need. Is that a fair summation, Justin, Di, Andrew?
Well, I think having pristine facilities is still very important. I do believe that the facilities and the equipment and everything in them has to be spot on. So I don't think we should ever move away from there. But obviously, there's other components as well that are equally as important.
Yeah, I think having clean and modern facilities with great equipment is sort of the minimum benchmark. So we're still every 5 years within any type club, they have to refresh it and it's a totally new look and feel for the customer. So we're still pushing heavily through that. with the Extend Bar, we've got a new design scheme that's rolling through as well. So the look and feel is still really important. I think it's just that extra level of component of customer service that is different to what they can get online. Is great, but it's a one-way sort of component.
Andrew?
I agree. I think this is going to sound very generic, but I mean, I think it really comes down to value driven to the customer. And I would say, experience in club, that, I mean, to me, and I would say probably to most people that use clubs, that's still super important. So customers want to go into a club. They want, the facility to look nice. They want to now, post-COVID, they want to make sure they feel safe, that they feel that there's, adequate space between equipment, that there's safety measures in place, that their staff are knowledgeable. I think they're going to want great equipment. I do think that there's now this almost added investment that operators have to make into, outside of just the in-club experience, what else can we provide that can kind of round out the member journey and the member expectations.
So that's a great segue into the question of virtual and hybrid and what impact it has had on each of your businesses over the last year. A statement again that's going around is that if you're not investing in technology now, you're not going to be future ready. So the question is, what's the right technology? What's going to be on that future needs list that you need to invest in? And is virtual going to cannibalize the gym experience?
Is that a question? I don't think it definitely.
Go for it, Dave.
We've definitely proved that that's not the case. Over the pandemic, when we've had lots of virtual classes going on, our staff immediately got out there and started putting out virtual workouts at home. And absolutely, it certainly isn't going to replace the club experience, but what it is going to do is going to produce more virtual in-club. I think a lot of our members now are quite happy to do in-club virtual workouts when it doesn't suit them to do a class. So they're quite happy to come in and do a class at 3 o'clock in the morning if that suits them, because there's a virtual class on at the same time. So in that respect, it's going to enhance what we do, but it's not going to replace what we do. We were very fortunate at Fernwood to have a lot of virtual content already produced. So we've been in a very strong position to be able to put virtual out into all of our clubs, and it's being much more accepted by our members than it was prior to COVID. Before COVID, a lot of our members didn't use the virtual classes because they wanted a real live instructor. But now, since COVID, they've been doing them at home, and they are feeling much more comfortable about coming into the club and with a couple of friends and just doing a virtual class. So from that respect, it's a hybrid, I think, is going to be something of the future, and especially from the way we run our business and from a corporate level, we're using a lot of hybrid for conferences and forums and that sort of thing, where franchisees can't attend, they can still have a hybrid, a virtual experience. And so it's helping a lot of clubs in remote places to be able to attend meetings, and it's been very helpful in that respect.
Okay. Justin?
Yeah, I think it depends on the product and the customer. Like with any time, we traditionally attract younger males who want to lift weights. It's pretty hard to substitute that at home. So as soon as our clubs reopened, our virtual component went down considerably. So they like to come and lift weights. With our Extend Bar, we've actually continued the classes online as well. And we know their attendance is higher if they're doing that. So instead of having to rush to a 6 a.m. class, we find those early morning Extend classes are quite popular. Another thing with Extend Bar, it's quite easy. You're just having a bar, so you can use it at the kitchen bench. So it's an easy one to substitute. So it depends what you're doing. If you're doing a high intensity workout, I've tried some at home. It just doesn't have the same effect for me. So I think, like Di said, there'll be a hybrid of people doing maybe some virtual at home, virtual in club, and then nothing will replace that going into the club experience for me. But hopefully the more virtual, and Apple Fitness has got quite a good product. Hopefully that'll encourage more people just to exercise in general. and then maybe they come into a club and use that a bit as well. So we just need more people exercising, whether they're outside in the club or at home, and to get them more moving.
Yeah, get them through your facilities one way or the other. Does that then mean that I just lost my train of thought on that one? No, I think it's going to be a good challenge that when we do come back, you have to have a reason for getting people back. And the question that I've been challenged with a lot is, how do you monetize, or should you monetize this hybrid experience? Is it something that's an add-on, or should it just be something that you want to make a little bit of money on, or do you ramp up what you're giving already, or do you open? I mean, so many different ways of doing it. Should you monetize it? Are you going to look to doing that? Justin?
I think there's so many companies out there doing it really well. And Apple's a great example. They're probably spending tens of millions of dollars at it or more. So how do we compete with that and make money? I just don't think we should be trying to. Can we do something local that is a bit more hands-on, that we can engage with our members? We're not looking at it as an added benefit, but I don't think we can compete with the big guys. They're going to dominate, and there'll probably be a consolidation of all those people spending millions and billions of dollars. So I don't know. I don't think we can compete based on the dollars.
Okay.
I think the best way to monetize the online component is to extend our members' length of stay. So we're not actually charging them anymore, but they're staying as a member for much longer because they have that online component to their membership, and they're not likely to cancel so much. So they will stay with their online component if they're going away on holidays rather than stopping their membership altogether. So we are monetizing it in a certain respect, but it's not actually charging them anymore. It's just getting our members to stay longer and enjoy the experience longer and stay fitness members for life rather than stopping and starting.
Yeah, excellent. Andrew, you've got this as a part of your equipment core. How do you see it?
Yeah, I think I like the way Di said that we're looking at it more as retention, earnings on retention, as opposed to necessarily charging a subscription fee. We're looking at everything. I mean, I think it kind of comes back to my comment, what drives value for the operator. You know, operators are our customers. You know, Justin and his franchisee, they're our customers. You know, Di is, from an extension, our customers. But you almost have to go to the very end user and say, okay, will this drive enough value to the end user that they're willing to pay for it, which in turn helps the franchisee, the operator, and then in turn we can monetize it. So, you know, I won't be specific, John, but you know, we're investing tens of millions of dollars in product development. I mean, that's just the facts, and that is not solely making really good hardware. That's looking at what are some things from a strength and from a cardio perspective that we have found through a ton of research, through historical data, that users are excited about, they want, and they actually would place a monetary value on. So I think the answer is yes, but I think what Di said, which is important to note, is I think there's multiple business models that this could have an impact on. So you look at the very generic subscription perspective, you know, does that shift to a different leasing model or higher ASPs or longer retention? I think there's a million different ways that you could slice this.
So we're not going to hear of an Apple Life Fitness merger in the coming years, huh?
No, and you know, John, I'm halfway around the world, so I'd be the last one to find out anyway.
Okay, well, we're unfortunately quickly running through our time here. Time clearly ends up taking a major role when there's so much to discuss. So what I'd like to ask each of you to do is give your 30-second words of wisdom for the future for those who still may be in lockdown or are looking to come out of it. So I know this is putting you right on the spot on a very short notice, but Di, would you do the honors, please?
Sure. Well, I think my words of wisdom are take this as a wonderful opportunity to relook at every little corner of your business and see what you can streamline, see what you can you can improve on in running your business. It will be over very soon, and I know that we will come back stronger and better than ever. Health and fitness has been something that the whole world knows how important it is to stay healthy mentally and physically. So it's a wonderful opportunity for our industry.
Great. Justin?
When you do reopen, it's reassuring to know that the members will come back. Make sure you're communicating to the members that are coming, but also the ones that are still nervous. So sometimes it takes certain clientele a bit longer to get back into the facility. So focus on them as well. Add value, be super friendly, and make sure the clubs are clean and fresh, and business will get back to normal and better.
Awesome. Andrew?
Operationally improve, so you can always get better. I would say care for your people. We at Life Fitness, we play as one team. We win together, we lose together, we pick each other up. That's how we treat each other. So, care every bit about your employees and your staff. I would say be optimistic. Attitude is everything. Lastly, what I would say is embrace change. So don't fear the unknown. If you see something that's different, check it out, investigate it. Don't always view things as an enemy, because we're finding that a lot of these different business models or different digital products are actually complementary to our core competency. So just, be positive, embrace change. Health and wellness is here to stay. And, we're going to come out of this stronger and better than I think this industry's ever been. That's
great. Well, I totally agree. I think health and wellness is where our future, the world's future, has to be focused. Clearly, the new normal is coming back at different times for different people. So do not slow down and try to get comfortable with what you're doing. There's been so many things out there that you can pick and choose from as to what you might want to do and how you can make more money and how you can influence and impact more people. Don't try to do them all. Pick 2 or 3 that are going to make a good value proposition for you and focus on doing those things well. But overall, know that what you're going to do aligns with your culture. Make sure if it's a cleanliness culture or if it's a service culture or all of the different aspects of it, choose the ones that are going to make the biggest impact on those things. So I'd like to extend a great thank you to our panelists, Di, Justin, and Andrew, and to Fit Summit for your continuing efforts to introduce, share, and sharpen the industry's interactions with each other. And I hope we continue to build all these into a great common future. So thank you all. It's been a pleasure. Let's do it again sometime, eh?
Thank you, John. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Di. And of course, thank you, Justin. A really great panel, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you'd agree. Looking forward now to some more great conversations. So please stay tuned. We've got some great conversations directly after this, both on this stage and the other stage. Of course, please remember to go into the virtual exhibition and enjoy some really good engagement with key partners there. And of course, jump into our lounge. Networking tables are open. You can enjoy some fantastic networking across numerous topics. We'll see you soon.
I started Perfect Gym 12 years ago, and during this period I observed how fast the fitness industry evolves. I have seen the rise of the boutique studios, low-cost gyms, functional training, and just recently EMS studios. But I think no one expected what happened last year. Adapting to COVID was one of the greatest challenges of fitness industry in recent years. I love that Perfect Gym's customers have remained resilient during this period. In Asia, only one of our customers' location needed to shut down for good during COVID. In Perfect Gym, we always put a lot of focus on product and features. We stepped up during a pandemic and we created a lot of tools for clubs to open safely. Fitness clubs will need to work on 3 main areas. One is safety of the members, second is getting them active once again, and third is helping them train not only in their club environment but also in home. In Perfect Gym, we released features to address each of those areas. We started with capacity control, then introduced streaming links for fitness classes, and just recently we released gamification feature to encourage members to go to clubs more often. We observe globally that members are coming back to the gyms. In Malaysia, club attendance is already at 80% of the pre-COVID levels. But on the other hand, Australia has exceeded 110% of the pre-COVID levels.
Simple fitness clubs that are offering gym access and group classes may be small, but their operations are complex. Perfect Gym is an all-in-one platform that covers all operations from membership management to facility bookings. Perfect Gym is integrated with local payment providers like Adyen, iPay88, EasyPay, and KBank. This makes recurring credit card payments and direct debits painless. To minimize unnecessary contact between your employees and club members, Perfect Gym is offering self-service online payments through client portal or the kiosk in the club, or even on the mobile app. A mobile app is a necessary tool to compete in the fitness industry. Perfect Gym is offering a white label mobile application ready to use out of the box without any additional development costs for you. Enterprise chains are looking for a modern digital solution. It is essential to have tools that can lead your digital transformation. This means an open API for integrations with external software. Perfect Gym's BI platform provides you with the information to make proactive decisions, to reduce costs, optimize sales, or even predict attendance. Enterprises need to keep track of their lead generation efforts. Our CRM gives you full visibility of your sales pipeline. We sit at the center of the gym ecosystem, supported by integrations with wearable devices, payment providers, access control hardware, as well as gym equipment. Data security is essential for every business, especially enterprise. Perfect Gym is happy to announce that this year we will be ISO certified for data security.
We've all been talking about the acceleration of digital transformation caused by COVID-19. And we're really seeing that in a couple of ways. One is digital experiences coming into play, and the other is a very real disruption, consumer disruption that's happening to our industry. Big tech's got involved, and I have to say, while we don't have to beat them, we do have to stay relevant as an industry. Firstly, what we need to do is thinking about our software, we need to make sure it's configurable so it fits our business really as we want to deliver that journey to our end users. What we need is a modern, open platform which is going to enable us to embrace some of the disruption that's going to come. Online sales have gone up since COVID-19 by 90% on our platform. This is a critical shift that's happening in our industry. Then we should think about automation. And for me, automation is a few things. It's automating that journey as they walk through the club, as they go through their experience with you. It's automating the consumer's capabilities. So can they access their account online? Can they do a lot of the work for themselves at a time that suits them? And this really is all about experiences. We've seen during COVID-19 that the consumer has been able to access more and more opportunity to have digital experiences. Some might think that's competitive, but in reality, what it allows the industry to do is really connect with the consumer in a whole life fashion, to move from being a facility of choice or a place of choice and become a brand of choice. This becomes really important because it allows you to draw back the consumer into your facilities as they see that the very physical and social environment is something that they truly desire. In summary, operational basics first, then we move to platforming. Make sure we've got an open, modern-day platform that can allow us to really scale that digital presence. Then we introduce the digital experiences, the really exciting bit that we can connect to as fitness facilities and start to be a whole life experience for our consumers. Finally, once we've created it, we can take that data, we can digitally transform using it to invent new ways to grow and deliver new revenue streams for our industry.